Hey everyone, my name is Andy. This is Neville and welcome to Namaste at Home Yoga. Today's practice is going to be more of a Hatha style. We'll spend a few more breaths in each posture, just connecting a little bit more with the sensation, some of the strength that we're building or space that we'll be building in the body as we move through. So you can start off by finding a comfortable seat on your mat. Just taking our few moments as usual to check in, noticing how you settle in here. Maybe we use the next couple of breaths to start to draw up out of the waist, bringing the crown tall. Feeling the breath as it moves in and out of the lungs. Noticing the gentle rise and fall of the belly. Gentle expansion and release of the rib cage. And if you'd like to bring to mind a focus for your practice today, now is a great time to do so. We'll draw our hands through heart center, palms come to press. Find a nice big cleansing breath here. Inhale, fill up belly and chest. And a big sigh out the mouth. Maybe let's get one more in here. Fill it up. Big sigh, let that go. Let's draw ourselves down, chin towards the chest. And inhale, bring that back up. Find that tall spine once more. We're going to go bring a left hand down towards the left side of our mat. Inhaling from the right fingertips to sky. Exhale, we find a side bend, creating some expansion through the right side of the body. Each inhale starts to draw that chest open towards the ceiling. Option to drop the right hand behind the head if it feels like a lot for the shoulder today. And then inhaling, come back through center. Exhale, release that down. Finding your second side. Inhale, reaching those fingertips high. Exhaling, we start to fold, creating some space through that left side. Finding length through the crown of the head, even though we're in a little bit of a fold here. Finding space through the left side of the body. And inhale can bring us back up through center. Exhaling, we release. You can find your way into a tabletop position, bringing shoulders to stack over wrists, hips over knees. And take a moment here, just send your hips back into a child's pose. Allow yourself to melt forward over the legs. Forehead can come down to contact the mat, or maybe it rests on hands. Make a few little adjustments if you need here, just to make it more comfortable. I know this is a nice resting position. At any point during practice, if you need to slow down, have a change of pace, or to reconnect, this is an excellent spot to do so. With an inhale, we'll find our tabletop once more. And starting to warm up through our cat-cows, we'll inhale to lift head, chest, and hips. As we exhale, we press your hands and knees around the spine. Inhale, head, chest, hips. Exhaling, we round. Let's find 3 more of those, just moving with your breath here. Finding your own pace, your own rhythm as guided supported by your body. Feeling that full openness of the front body with your inhales, and then of the back body as we press more into that rounded position, noticing the space. Starting to activate through our core, send the right leg back, the left arm forward, reaching towards front and back walls. Think about drawing the belly button in towards the spine, tucking in through the low ribs, keeping ourselves well contained in our trunk. Noticing the pressure through the hand, through the knee, helping with our stability. As we exhale, bringing that back to the mat. Moving in through our second side, left leg, right hand. Stretch it out. Finding this balance on our second side. And just noticing how it feels today. If it's about the same as your other side, or you notice some differences in that balance. Next, exhale brings us back down to the mat. We'll tuck the toes and their hips up and back into the first down dog of our practice. Taking a moment to pedal it out. Shift around. And then settling in here. Bend the knees as much as you need. Allow that chest to get heavy. Spreading our fingers wide, pressing down through all of the fingertips. Allowing shoulders to relax a little bit away from the ears. Continuing to warm up through our core. Let's inhale forward, find a plank. Shoulders stacking over, wrists here. Crown of the head reaches forward. And you can stay on the toes, or we can always bring it to the knees as an alternative. Finding an inhale to lift the right foot off the mat just a few inches. Holding strong for a couple of breaths. Exhaling, release. Take a moment in your down dog if you need it, a breath or so. And then we'll find our plank once more. Prepping for our second side. With an inhale, we send that left leg up. Strong through our upper body, pressing the mat away from us. Finding that strength, that stability to hold on to. And then we'll exhale, bring that foot down, knees can drop, and take a child's pose. Enjoying a moment of rest. And then we'll continue to move together here. Inhale through tabletop. As we exhale, we find our downward dog. Inhale to send the right foot high. Stepping between the hands. Let's bring that left heel down to the mat, setting up for warrior two. We'll inhale, sweep those arms up. Shoulders stacking over top of hips. And sinking into our lunge. Now we've got a few breaths to play around here. Create some space, create some strength. Starting with the feet, feeling equal pressure between the front and the back foot. Maybe pressing a little firmer through your pinky toe edge of your left foot. Allowing that right knee to stack over top of the ankle. So you press out. And dropping the tailbone down towards the mat. Shoulders rise up over hips. Arms are light, crown is light. Fantastic. Let's exhale, bring that down, step back, downward dog. Moving through our second side, the left foot inhales high. Stepping between the hands. Right heel finds our mat. Inhale to sweep, shoulders stacking over hips. Crown of the head draws tall. Tailbone drops towards the earth. Finding that balance between our front and back foot. Checking on that left knee. Is it stacked over the ankle? Allowing tailbone to point down. Core strong as our upper body is light here. Where can we let go of a little bit of tension? And just allow ourselves to float in this position. Easier said than done, I know. With our next exhale, we'll go ahead, windmill it down. Step back into your downward dog. And coming back to our first side one more time. Let's inhale, send that right leg high. Step it between the hands. Left heel comes down. We're finding our warrior two once more. Go ahead and float up. Starting to extend this a little bit. Inhale, straightening through the right leg. We're going to send our hips back, right fingertips reach forward, and then fall down to meet a block or our leg. Maybe fingertips reach the mat. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Left fingertips reaching to sky. Maybe we stay here, we allow that shoulder to open a little bit more. Hand can come for the low back. Drawing shoulders down away from the ears. Different hand placements as it feels okay for you today. Noticing where our balance is, if it changes, if our gaze lifts. Finding a micro bend in that right knee to help protect it. And we'll inhale, fly back up. Exhale, warrior two. Finding strength in this posture. Feeling a lift through the pelvic floor. And next, exhale, windmills down, frame the foot, step back, downward dog. Second side, left leg sends high. Stepping between the hands. Let's bring the right heel to the mat, warrior two, come on up. First couple breaths, we won't be here super long. We'll transition into our triangle pose. Inhaling, we rise. Hips send back, fingertips reach forward. Down towards the shin, block, or the mat. Finding strength in this triangle-shaped posture. Maybe our gaze lifts here. Fingertips can stay reaching, or we catch the back of the hip, opening up through the shoulder a little bit more. Allowing the chest to shine towards the sky. Noticing if our breath has started to change at all. Staying here for one more. And then get strong through those legs. Inhale, fly back up. Exhale, lunge. Is this warrior position feeling strong? Are we feeling some warmth in the legs? Maybe a little bit of a shake or a wobble, that's fine. And with our next exhale, we windmill down, frame the foot, step back. And find a child's pose, dropping to the knees, untuck the toes. Connecting with our breath. Inhaling, we'll float back through tabletop. Exhale, we find our downward facing dog. Sending the right leg high as we inhale. Stepping outside of the right hand. Sitting up for a few breaths in lizard. We're going to stack that ankle right underneath the knee. Start to draw the chest forward. And maybe we stay with the back leg lifted. Maybe we drop down to the knee and tuck the toe. I'll leave that up to you today. Staying as you are, or maybe we find that bend to the elbows. Maybe we come to rest on forearms. Or if the ground feels a little bit far away for forearms, you can always use a cushion, a block, a pillow. Over these next few breaths, taking a moment to connect with your body. Is there anywhere that is really challenged in this posture? Can you breathe a little bit of extra energy over there? Have our breathing patterns changed at all? Noticing where we're starting to create some space. And then if you're on forearms, you can find your way back up to hands. You're going to drop the back knee and tuck the toes. Just send the hips up and back for half split. We're moving into a little bit of a hamstring and calf stretch. Hands can come to balance on the leg here. If you prefer, hands can come down to blocks or down to your mat again. Allowing the right hip to draw back slightly, left hip forward. And if you're craving a little bit of movement here, maybe we think about bringing toes back towards the face and then allowing them to tap down towards the mat. This one really doesn't feel great on the knee. You'd like an alternative, feel free to do this one in a seated position, more like a hurdler stretch. Again, just breathing in to those spaces of more tension, of more sensation. Just keeping aware of them, aware of our limits, aware of where we're challenged. Next, inhale shifts us forward. We can frame that foot once more. Go ahead and bring it back to your downward dog. We'll find that second side, left leg. Inhales to left. Stepping outside of the left hand. Stacking strong here again, knee right over top of the ankle, starting to draw that chest forward. That back knee can stay lifted, or we drop it down and untuck the toes. If after a few breaths you're like, you know what, I think I can come back up to my knee lifted, I want a little bit more of a challenge, feel free, adjust back wherever you need. Maybe finding that bend or that gentle bend to the arms, or bringing it down to our forearms. Come back to your breath. Noticing how you feel in this posture now. And then taking a few more breaths, how does that start to change? Does it change? Really being mindful here. Allowing the breath to be smooth to help us out. Maybe we come back to that word from the start of practice. And if you are on forearms, go ahead and find your way back up to hands. We're going to drop that back knee and tuck the toes as we send our hips back, setting up for our half split. Finding a little bit of space through the back of the left leg, hamstring, calf. Hands resting on the leg itself or on either side of your mat. And staying as you are, breathing into those spaces, or we add that gentle movement. Toes come to tap, pull back towards the face. If you're craving more still, make that little hip adjustment again. Left hip draws back, right hip forward. That's sure to bring a little bit more intensity to this one. Just breathing with it, moving through areas that are challenging but pain-free. Soaking that stretch in. Well, let's go ahead and shift forward. Find your lunge once more. Frame that foot as we step it back to our downward dog. Sending the right leg high. Hold it here for a couple of breaths. High as you can. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring ourselves forward. Bring that knee towards the nose or towards the chest. Inhaling, we kick it back. Exhale, right knee towards the right elbow. Inhale, kick that back. Exhale, right knee, left elbow across the body. Inhale, kick back. Exhale, knee towards the chest. One more. Inhale, kick it back. And bringing the right knee towards right wrist. Drape that leg across the top of your mat, setting up for pigeon. Allowing yourselves to get even in the hips here as we draw that chest up tall, crown high. Adjusting that front leg. If you need a little bit more intensity, bringing it more parallel with the front of the mat. Maybe a little less intensity, we pull that ankle back towards us. Maybe peek back to check with your other leg if it is straight behind you on the mat. Feel free to stay here as you are, or we start to draw the chest forward. Once again, finding bent arms or forearms. And settle in. Allow yourself to melt into the mat. Breathing into those spaces that get really tight, that try to hold on. Just noticing the little spots where we can let go. Maybe it's through the back of the neck, just letting your forehead melt. You can always bring it to rest on something. Maybe it's between the shoulder blades, in the jaw, gently parting the teeth. If you're down on your forearms, we'll walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Press back up, find your tall spine, and make your way back to a downward dog. Taking a moment here to pedal it out. Allowing hips to go high. And let's find that core activation first on our left side. Don't worry, I didn't forget about core. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, shift forward, knee towards the nose, towards the center. Inhale, shift it back, send it high. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale back. Cross body, left knee, right elbow. Inhale, come on back. Exhale, knees back through center. Last one, kick it back. Left knee towards the left wrist. Drape that leg across the top of your mat. Setting up for pigeon on your second side. You can play around with the ankle angle of that front leg wherever it needs to be on your mat. Checking in that our other leg is straight back behind us. Finding that evenness in the hips. And then you find your variation here, staying tall or folding forward. Starting to get a little deeper with the breaths once more. Can we start to slow down the exhales, make them a little bit longer? Allowing the forehead to be smooth. Face to relax. Allowing the body just to melt here. Soaking that in for a few more breaths. And again, if you are folded way forward here, you can walk the hands back under shoulders, finding that tall spine, and bring it on back, downward dog. Take a couple breaths here, settling in once more. Allowing the sit bones to reach high. Add some movement if you need to, or just settle in for a couple of breaths. Maybe noticing what's changed, how this posture feels. With an inhale, shift forward to your high plank. Holding strong. Over the next few breaths, we're going to lower. I'll do it over a count of 5. Coming down here for 5, 4, 3, 2.5, 2, and 1. Find your mat. Let's open the right arm up towards the side, keeping that arm in line with the shoulder. The left hand plants in our mat. Left foot starts to reach up and over, inviting a twist. Allowing shoulders to relax away from the ears. Head can rest if that's available. Just breathing some space into the front of that shoulder. Maybe down into your bicep as well. And we'll exhale back through center. Moving on to your second side. Left arm is reaching out in line with the shoulder. The right hand finds the mat. Right foot starts to reach up and over. If you can, finding a spot for that head to rest. Got lots of space here for those deep belly breaths. Couple more to soak it in. Next exhale can bring us back to center. Hands pressing under our shoulders once more. Get strong through that core. Just press up to your tabletop. We can send the hips back, sweep the legs out in front of us, finding a tall seated posture. You can get those sit bones as well in contact with the mat here, drawing the crown of the head tall. Got cat fluff everywhere today. And plant the hands on either side, strengthening through the legs now. Let's inhale, lifting the right leg light. Maybe it comes off the mat a little bit. That leg is so strong. If you need, you can start to lean back a little bit, but challenge yourself here, drawing yourself up tall as much as you can. With an exhale, let that go. Take a moment to reset. And then second side, let's do it. Left leg this time gets light, or maybe it lifts. Inhale's helping with that lift, that length, lightness. Exhale's just feeling our sit bones so grounded here, maybe palms pressing firmer through the mat. As we exhale, release that down, let it go, take it easy. Let's find one more forward fold for today. We can keep the feet about hip distance, mat distance if you would like. Inhale to get tall. As we exhale, we're going to start to walk those hands forward. Keep the spine long as far as you can. And then keeping this passive today, we'll let it go. So hands aren't gripping on anything. Let yourself melt here. If it feels better with a micro bend to the knees, bring it in. Breathing space into your back body. Notice where you're having that gentle expansion, gentle rise with your inhales. And then find a bit of tension to breathe out with each exhale. Last couple of breaths here. And then starting to make our way back up. We can tuck the knees in towards us, finding a little bit of a squeeze of your own hamstrings or shins. So rock it back onto your mat. And then just drawing knees in towards the chest. We can stay as we are or find a couple of sways, a couple of circles. We can let the feet plant. We're going to send that right leg high. Cross the ankle over the opposite knee. We'll find a few breaths either hanging out here in our figure 4, thread the needle, or we can inhale, draw the legs up towards you, strength that we were just building, grabbing on for a hamstring. Allow your shoulder blades to get grounded, let them rest. Letting the back of the head be heavy. Using the strength of the biceps, if you have that grip here, to start to just draw the legs a little closer. And then we can release any grips we have with an exhale. You can keep the legs crossed as they are. Open the arms up towards either side, goalposts or a T. And just let the legs fall over towards the left side here, finding a twist. If it's not enough in this posture, in this leg position, feel free to adjust. And then finding an inhale, we'll come back through center, releasing our right foot back to the mat and finding our second side, figure 4 first. Drawing the foot or ankle across. Staying as we are. Inhaling, legs come towards us to grab. Feeling our back body is just solid in the mat. Maybe that little squeeze with the arms, pulling the legs slightly closer. Letting go with an exhale, any grips we have. Then we can start to let the legs fall over towards the right side of the mat this time. Allowing shoulders to continue to rest on the mat. Adjusting those legs, however feels good for you today. As we inhale, we'll draw those legs back through center. Releasing them down to your mat. Send them out long, send the arms overhead. Take a nice big full body stretch here. We draw those knees in towards the chest. Take a big exhale, forehead to knees. Let all that extra air rinse out of the lungs. Make room for fresh air. And then we'll roll over to one side or the other. Let's find our way back to our comfortable seat from the start of practice. Allowing ourselves to be grounded here once more. Settling in with the eyes closed. Allowing shoulders just to sink down. Coming back to our deep breaths. And back to that word or phrase, whatever it was that you chose to focus on today. And bring hands through center as we find one more big cleansing breath. Inhale, fill up those lungs. And sigh it out. Can bring the chin to chest as we softly open our eyes. Thank you for joining me for a little Hatha flow today. We'll see you again soon. Namaste.